Well, a work environment can make or break a company for current and aspiring employees. And so this agency built 3 decades of research on what makes a workplace great. Let's find out more from Great Place to Work Philippines, Antoniette, Mendoza, Talosig. Tony, thank you so much for joining us right here on The Final Word. What makes the Philippines a great place to work in?
Oh, that's a very good question, Rico. When we first started, the very first thing that we learned about Filipino workplace culture is that Filipinos are very good when it comes to camaraderie. Mm-hmm. That's something that's really unique amongst Filipinos, even when we compare it, against workplaces in our neighboring countries in Southeast Asia. There's a very strong level of camaraderie amongst Filipinos. We just bring, quality of relationships at a different level here.
And of course, camaraderie, unity, the bayanihan spirit,
that's
right?
Exactly,
among Filipino workers.
That's right.
But why are more and more local companies and business leaders committed to creating a better workplace experience?
Yeah, I'd say the pandemic, as catastrophic as it was, to say the least, I think that really awakened a lot of companies, business leaders, that the top-down approach that used to work is not working anymore. They need to work together, leaders and employees. And that's how many organizations pivoted during the pandemic. And so, after the pandemic, we are seeing a rise, of leaders and companies who are wanting to invest more into their people, putting them first. Because now they realize that when you put your people first, it is also better for your business.
But of course, Tony, after that pivot during the pandemic, we also saw a lot of companies changing their workplace dynamic. There are some who are full-time in the office. There are some who say, I don't want to go to work anymore. I just want to work from home.
That's true.
And the others want that hybrid type of workplace. So is there still that kind of camaraderie when people are working from home, working in the office, and just having that hybrid kind of workplace?
Oh, you'll be amazed. There is. And even during the pandemic, Filipinos are very creative in how they socialize virtually. A lot of ways that they did that. Right now, you're right. There is a clamor to move to hybrid work setup. Some employees prefer to do work from home fully, and that is why some industries are seeing higher attrition and compared to others because they're not able to offer that flexibility. But I think both are equally important. Mm-hmm. Generations right now of employees want that flexibility more than anything. Sometimes it's not really about, okay, I just want to work from home. It's giving them the choice that they need so that they'll be able to work the way that they want to.
And even Great Place to Work Philippines is a work from home business.
Yes, we are.
And how does that dynamic work with all of your other employees?
Yeah. From experience, I'd say that our camaraderie is really very good despite working from home even before the pandemic. I think, Rico, the key is really it's communication. Having that open communication with your employees, and once you're aware that we're not able to see each other, face to face every time, then you make time for it. You make time for, like in our team, we would have like a no agenda meeting once a month, and that's when we just chat and meet with each other. So that way, that camaraderie still, you're able to foster it.
And of course, before the pandemic, we saw employees working from 9 to 5, and now with the advent of the digital platform and hybrid work, everyone can just start work at any time during the day.
That's correct.
But during these very critical times, now that we have basically transitioned into normal operations for many of the companies, are you seeing more companies upskilling and reskilling their staff with artificial intelligence now front and center?
That's a very good question. What I've seen in the Philippines in the 4 years of doing this is that training and development has always been at the core. It's one of the biggest budget that companies have in their HR. And so I believe that training people for AI and what's up ahead has always been there. It's a part of what they're doing. So short answer is that it's there. There are massive opportunities that companies are giving for their employees to upskill and reskill in what's needed right now.
Okay, taking a look at your report, 2023 was a breakout year for certifying over 150 Great Place to Work companies and 35 best workplaces in the Philippines. How did you come up with all of these 185 workplaces?
Yeah, it was really a breakthrough year for us. 4 years doing this from 5 companies only that we recognize as best workplaces. 4 years ago, it has grown to 35. What brought about that big rapid change? I think it's really that awareness that leaders have right now that they need again to put their people first. And it's not just coming from the top. There are also employees now who are looking for companies who are better able to take care of themselves. So it's really that push from the bottom, as well as leaders having that awareness.
I think the bottom line is when you say people first, for corporate leaders and employers, you really have to have a psychologically, emotionally healthy workplace.
That's correct. I've mentioned earlier, right, that camaraderie is what's unique here in Philippine workplaces. But in our recent study, we found out that having a social workplace is not enough anymore for Filipinos. They want a psychologically and emotionally healthy place to work. Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations on the success of Great Place to Work Philippines, and hopefully more Filipinos will work here in the Philippines rather than move overseas and seek greener pastures.
Yeah.
Antoniette, Mendoza, Talosig from Great Place to Work Philippines.
Thank you, Rico.